If you are experiencing any or all of the following symptoms, you may be turning into a Wendigo: depression, vomiting, social withdrawal, refusal to eat, refusal to move, refusal to sleep, a craving for human flesh, or people around you appearing as particularly edible animals, especially beavers. If you have feasted on human flesh already, it's too late for you.
Me? A mental breakdown. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Welcome to Mysterium. Today we're gonna learn about Wendigos. Let's just jump right into this hoe. We'll go through a little background information, a little history, everybody's favorite. Then we're gonna talk about what is a Wendigo? What does it look like? Does it have powers? Does it have any weaknesses? What the fuck? And then I'll do a little comparison between the Skinwalker and the Wendigo. Did the Skinwalker last week, felt appropriate to do the Wendigo right after because I see them so often confused, or aspects of the Skinwalker getting kind of muddled in there with the Wendigo stuff, or vice versa. The Wendigo originated within the Algonquian language group. It's located in the Ottawa River Valley region, or Great Lakes region, on the modern day border of Canada and the United States, mostly in Canada, but it does trickle down into the States here just a little bit. The Wendigo is often referred to as the spirit of winter, and it's often, I want to say, like related to winter. You see it talked about in the winter more, and it's something that is seen that comes in the winter. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be winter. Stating the obvious, I mean, come on. Winter time is very strongly related to starving and death. So the APA, American Psychological Association, actually has a definition for what they call Wendigo psychosis in the DSM-5, which as follows. The syndrome is characterized by delusions of becoming possessed by a flesh-eating monster, the Wendigo, and is manifested in symptoms including depression, violence, a compulsive desire for human flesh, and sometimes actual cannibalism. They also made a point on the page to say that this psychosis, this disorder, is specific, I know with all the S's, specific to a certain group of people, right? It's specific to the Algonquian language group. Just about every tribe within the Algonquian group recognized this creature. They just all didn't call it the same thing. Little things are different about the Wendigo for every tribe. I believe it's basically the same thing, all the same concepts, and it said that this legend, of course, was brought about to deter cannibalism, right? They wanted to say, like, cannibalism is never okay. I don't care if you're starving out there and the only way you can survive is by eating Steve. It's still not okay to eat Steve. So the Ojibwe tribe is where we get the English name from. They referred to this creature as here we go, spelled W-I-I-N-D-G-O-O. Basil H. Johnston, who is an Ojibwe teacher and scholar, described the Wendigo as following. The Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation, its desiccated skin pulled tightly over its bones. With its bones pushing out against its skin, its complexion the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into their sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinterred from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody, unclean and suffering from separation of the flesh. The Wendigo gave off a strange and airy odor of decaying decomposition, of death and corruption. That's a pretty, I love that last, the eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. That just sounds so, ugh, damn, death and corruption, metal! So fucking metal. Did you think that was terrifying too? Let's get into the meat. Let's get into my favorite part of this, and let's talk about physical attributes and things about the Wendigo. Starting off with the most terrifying one, 30 feet tall. They can be 30 feet tall. Yeah. As if this isn't stating the obvious, the bigger the Wendigo, the scarier the Wendigo. Why? They grow over time. The more flesh they consume, human flesh, the hungrier they get. The bigger they get, the hungrier they get, right? So obviously a horse eats more than a chipmunk. Bigger the Wendigo, the hungrier that motherfucker's gonna be. So it's a never-ending curse. So the Wendigos, it's meant to be a curse upon you. You ate somebody, and now that's all you want to eat. Now you're stuck. You're eating, and you're never satisfied. It's just a constant craving, and the more you eat, the more you want. So it's just eternal starvation, eternal just fuck. So how do you become a Wendigo? Obvious answer would be to eat somebody. Eat some flesh. Eat some man meat. That's it. That'd be an easy way. The other way is to establish a relationship with a cannibalistic entity or with this cannibalistic entity while on a spiritual quest or journey, which will result in degradation into a Wendigo. And this relationship establishment is not always on purpose. So while you can go out looking to establish a relationship with this cannibalistic entity, I don't know why you would. Maybe you're just evil. Maybe you think there's nowhere else to go. I don't know. Most of the time it seems like they trick people into it. Like they're like, hey, I'll give you the biggest dick north of the Mississippi or whatever. And they're like, okay. You know, and they get that big dick for like a week and then they turn into a Wendigo. Or they don't get the dick at all. I don't know. I don't know. All right, you know, there's probably no dicks involved. And this was a poor taste joke. But I made the joke and I'm living with it. No regrets. So what powers does a Wendigo have? Besides being like fast and, you know, kill you, stuff like that, kill you, eat you, like animalistic, I suppose. Like they're not, it doesn't seem to me like they have powers more than like a wolf or a cougar would, or a, you know, mountain lion or something. They'll kill you. But the things that you see about the mimicry and the shape-shifting, that's not the Wendigo. That's a skinwalker. Segue. I want to talk about the common misconceptions about Wendigos. And in that, I'll mention some of the things about the skinwalker because there's a ton of misconceptions. I'm not sure if anybody cares. So maybe I'm just, you know, pissing down a drain here, but I don't know. I feel like people should care that when you Google Wendigo, which is from Native American folklore, and this guy comes up, that's not a Wendigo. Like, that's just a Hollywood monster. The Wendigo, I guess it's turned into a different thing. So usually it's reported that the most common type of person to become a Wendigo is a man, specifically a hunter. And apparently usually the victim in this scenario is usually a family member, which makes sense because you're close to a family member, that's who you interact with. So usually, let's say you and your brother, just for that, staying true there. Let's say y'all go out hunting for, you know, let's say it's wintertime, y'all go out hunting. Let's say you're gone a month or something. I don't really know. I don't hunt. You're gone a month. You come back with nothing. You were gone a month and you didn't kill anything. Y'all were completely unsuccessful. You ate all your rations. Maybe a month's not long enough. I don't know. You come back alone. Your rations are gone. You didn't bring any food back with you. which I assume would be how they would figure out how the fuck did you survive? You know, you must have eaten Tom. Yep, he ate Tom. So what's gonna happen? Well, if you're high enough up on the social ladder, they'll let you back in, they'll quarantine you for a little bit, they'll make sure that you're not going to turn into a Wendigo, that you're not gonna go batshit crazy, and then they'll just let you back into society. Hey, don't you love the benefits the elite has? Yeah, and if you're low on the social ladder, they'll kill you. Yeah! Or if they let you back in and you start acting crazy, they'll kill you. It's great. Or they'll ostracize you. So I guess if you're lucky, you get ostracized. If you're unlucky, you get killed. And if you were born lucky, you might just get let back in with just a little slap on the wrist. Easy claps. As far as weaknesses go with Wendigos, it seems to me like they die just like any other creature, possibly, you know, just cut the head off or just kill it, you know? Like, it doesn't seem to me like, I guess because it's a spirit, so you're not really killing the Wendigo, you're more killing the person that became a Wendigo, which now I have some more questions, right? So, the Wendigo's a spirit. Are there multiple Wendigos, right? Like multiple spirits, I'm saying, that do these things? Maybe they're not all called the Wendigo. Maybe there's multiple cannibalistic spirits that possess different people. Or do they kind of possess one person at a time? Is it one that has the power to kind of like influence a bunch of people? I feel like there's so many questions that I did not find the answer to. It didn't look hard enough. Maybe it didn't look hard enough. Only cure for becoming a Wendigo is death. So that's something that all of you should have to look forward to. Wendigo's not a cryptid. I want to throw that out there. It's another common misconception. The definition of cryptid is not clear to most people, which it wasn't 100% clear to me because I didn't know that a Wendigo wasn't a cryptid. I guess because I didn't know a Wendigo was a spirit.